And there is a quorum present. I can see 3 council members, which constitutes a quorum. Okay, at this time, we'll proceed and take a moment of silence. And hopefully somebody will come back in. Okay, thank you. Okay, we will begin. We'll begin with the public comment from the audience. Is there anybody in the audience? Apparently not. It's everybody's all accounted for. We'll begin. There's no public hearings. And at this time, we'll begin with the presentations. The first person on the agenda for the presentation was Mr. Mike Easley and Adam Albright with Baytown ICE LLC to discuss the poor conditions of Colima Street from Texas Highway 35 to their location in Colima Street. I don't see them here. So that being said,
Mayor,
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Give it a moment. There's some people coming on.
There's some new ones that just came in.
Okay.
Is anybody on from Mike Easley's team? If you are, if you can unmute.
There we go. Does that help?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sorry for the pause.
Okay, are you from Mike Easley's company?
Yes, we're Baytown ICE.
We're the
Okay.
owner of the company.
Okay. We your first in the presentation. I'm just want to give you a friendly reminder. We have 3 presentations, and we don't want to rush anybody. But by the same token, we don't want to take this to take a long time. Our meetings are normally an hour, hour and a half, but in this case, 3 presentations. If you can make it reasonably timed. The last time I made a presentation, it took me between 12 and 15 minutes. I'm not saying for you to do the same thing, but let's be considerate of each other. So that being said, presentation being made by Mr. Mike Easley and Mr. Adam Albright with Baytown ICE LLC to discuss the poor conditions of Colima Street from Texas 35 and their locations and 352 Colima. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening. I want to say hello to everyone and thank you all for inviting us to participate in this meeting. I'd like to just introduce my team. There's 3 of us that own Baytown ICE. It's myself, I'm Mike Easley. My partner in the back is Adam Albright and Steve Duplantis here with me. And so really what we wanted to visit with you about is Colima Street, and we just wanted to tell you a little bit about our company. We bought
Are you in the Zoom now?
ICE about 7 years ago, and we have grown this business in our local community here.
Let me call in.
And we are from Baytown, and as y'all know, ExxonMobil is a very large player in the Baytown community, as it has olefins plants, plastics plants, chemical plants, and one of the largest refineries in the world. The reason we ended up in Gregory is the ExxonMobil Gulf Coast Growth Venture Project. So ExxonMobil contacted Adam and I. What they were wanting to do is have some best practices that they use here locally, be able to support the project down there. So they asked us if we would go to Gregory with them. We told them we would, and then as we started to pursue a facility in the area, because ExxonMobil was building in Gregory, you know, we were asked to support the local community, and that's how we ended up where we did. And what we did is we purchased a facility that had been unoccupied for probably somewhere between 7 and 10 years. That was an old gaming facility, and we renovated that facility, cleaned it up, and have been able to be operating out of there since earlier this year. The issue that we've had is we didn't have any idea when we purchased that facility the condition of that road and the sheer amount of problems we would have with the dust. And so that's what we wanted to visit with y'all about today and talk about potential solutions to the issue that we have.
On the warehouse that we bought, it's approximately 10,000 square feet. And we took pride in looking at the community and in our property there. And what we did is we added a new shell to it, redid the roof, redid the entire interior, again, so we could grow the area and help us in that area. Colima, the area that we're talking about, has a concrete plant on the opposite side of us. But we also, the road is about 30 feet wide to 35 feet wide. And the area we're talking about is less than a quarter of a mile. We're estimating plus or minus 900 to 950 square feet. And it causes an issue for us where we need to keep things washed down and clean. And then the product that we're promoting is Baytown Ice. So we're promoting in blue bins, water and ice. And so the dust becomes a problem because it's a food product and we're considered essential to the community. So the help we would look for is some way to control that dust through potential asphalt emulsion, asphalt the road, or potential paving. And we've also heard rumors, we don't know if they're right or not, they plan on extending Colima through to the northeast. And so it might be a good enhancement from that standpoint. But we're wide open to options of how we can work with the community, work with y'all, or what could be done for us to help us in that regard. In addition, there's some other residential properties in the area that are suffering from the dust too. So we think it's an issue that if it could be addressed, we would appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aisley, Mr. Albright, and I didn't quite get you. Okay, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Last city council meeting, this is a project that is being seriously undertaken by the city of Gregory, and this is one of our top priorities. And we already have the numbers, how much it'll take to reconstruct that street and also to extend it from the neighborhood all the way down to the exit road 35. We have those numbers. What we're doing right now, we're trying to find ways on how to finance it. And we're seriously on that particular project. It's one of our top projects in our infrastructure scene. Right now, we're there top 4 infrastructures, which should be water, sewer, drainage, and streets. And Colima Street is one of those that was touched on the presentation last city council meeting. We're very serious, and hopefully we'll be successful in trying to obtain those goals and meet the finances.
Thank you. I also believe that if Colima is improved, that it'll lead to more development in that area along Colima Street because it is zoned industrial.
Definitely.
And so I think it would help from a tax base and everything else from that.
Definitely.
So.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're so correct. Yeah. And by extending the neighborhood street all the way down to Colima, the right of way is already there. Oh, okay. It also presents a major ingress, egress to traffic because of the new potential municipal complex that's in the near future.
Okay.
So yes, all those things are being taken into consideration. We really appreciate your business here in Gregory. Hopefully we'll all succeed together.
Thank you very much. I can't imagine you're missing the gaming room a whole lot.
Oh, we will not go there, okay?
I had to add a little humor.
It is humorous. Okay, thank you.
We appreciate your time. And I think that's all we needed, guys, from that standpoint. Again, we're willing to work with the city in any way
Okay,
we can. So please use us as a resource if you need to.
appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. We're
Okay.
going to probably zoom out and let y'all continue with
Yeah.
your meeting.
Hold on. Anybody else has any question, council members, to them? Everybody's okay? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Steve. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Now, next item on our presentation is Mr. Felix Ramirez with our Turner Ramirez architect to discuss the master plan development in an industrial park to be located in northeast of city of Gregory. Philip?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, chief. As some of you may be aware, we've been working on with Somerset Land Development Company and Wiley McElwain and his associates on a large-scale master plan for the northeastern quadrant of Gregory. And if you'll bear with me, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, good.
Norma, or is it possible you could allow me to share my screen? I can pull up the presentation, if you will. Uh-oh, it says host disabled participant. Okay, there we go. Their screen. There we go. Bear with me, presentation, there we go. And so, oops, went too fast. Can everybody see this map in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Obviously, everybody's very familiar with the city of Gregory. If I'd like to bring a couple of things to your attention, if you would. On the upper part of the map, you will see approximately 160 acres of yellow labeled as IL. That is a portion of the project that we would like to develop as an industrial park. We all, a gentleman speaking right in front of us before, obviously, our case in point, we know due to the increased industrial development in the area, GCGV, Chenier, that there is really no established industrial park within San Pat County of any size and scale. Most of it exists over in the Nueces County side. And so I think this potential industrial park could bring a tremendous amount of opportunity to the city of Gregory to add some ad valorem value to the area. And it is part of a overall concept, which is only the first phase. And as you'll see right below it, you'll see some green and some orange and red is more of a mixed use development that would be phase 2. That is currently portions of it are within the city limits of Gregory, but other parts are not currently. If we're successful in moving forward this first phase, we would intend to bring it forward, and I'll speak a little bit about your new current development guidelines and ordinances that y'all are working on. But the concept would be to have this industrial park be phase 1, but that fairly immediately after, or maybe even partially simultaneously, we would like to entertain this as an entire master plan development using the TERS and PID district model. And obviously there's a lot of things that would need to be discussed and worked out there. I've had some preliminary discussions with the developer, also other interested parties. And, you know, this could be a very significant development for the city of Gregory, at least in our minds. But the important thing is that it also aligns now with the work that Brannon has been doing in her firm in establishing your land use maps and your comprehensive plan. And this plan here represents changes that were made to some initial development plans that are much more in sync with the desired land use and compatibility that was outlined in the comprehensive plan that y'all have, I think at this point adopted. And so, you know, we're really excited about the opportunity. There's been a lot of interest, Mayor and council members. We actually have several companies that are that have already put letters of interest in, both on the commercial side and on the industrial side for development. So I think that we would be poised should y'all move forward with adopting your development guidelines and providing us a path to submit, at least in the first phase, the yellow, the industrial park, as an industrial planned unit development, which is a category of zoning or planned use developments that y'all have, at least within the draft document, that we would be ready to move fairly quickly with some industrial development in pretty short order. I would like to stress that, you know, we know that there is a timing aspect to some of this with regards to some of the industrial type vendors that would want to locate in this. A lot of them want to be operational around the same time that GCGB is operational. So, you know, we're hoping to I wouldn't say quickly, everything takes time and we want to do it right, but move forward with some level of development here in the very near future, if at all possible, if it is the will of the council. Moving on to the next slide, it gives a little bit more detail on exactly what we're looking at here. As you can see in the yellow, we have the GCGB project site, and then you can see the city of Gregory. And then just to the northeast, you can see this Somerset Industrial Park. As this is a conceptual layout. Obviously, the layout may, under the industrial plan unit development, may change as we get different and various interested parties. But however, this gives you an idea of what the development itself could potentially look like. It's broken up into various sizes of lots and various sizes of buildings. A couple of things of note is that it obviously abuts the San Pat old county landfill, which was potentially incompatible to single use or single family residential, and for the most part abuts the borrow pit as well, and then vacant or undeveloped land to the north and to the northeast. Obviously, we would want to be sensitive to screening and buffering to any. We know that there is the housing units that are there just to the south as well. And so we would certainly entertain working through the PUD process to establish and identify the proper buffer and zoning aspects should we be able to move forward. But in general, this property is, I think, well positioned to accept that type of industrial park. I can let Brandon speak to whether or not this is consistent with the y'all's current comprehensive plan, but I believe that at least in concept that it is, and we would obviously hope to see it move forward in that regard. Presenting here just a couple of concepts of what this could potentially look like. The pretty pictures always help if people can imagine it. I think the thought would be that this would be a very nice industrial park. We would expect, the development to have some level of architecture to it, not just big, warehouses, but have some aspects of material change and color and things of that nature to make sure that it is something that is vibrant and inviting. You've seen probably similar type developments to this in other areas of Corpus or other areas within the state, perhaps. But we feel like this could be a really nice project that we know there's a demand for. We know it can be a win-win for everybody involved, and certainly could provide some much needed commercial growth for the city of Gregory as well. And with that, Mr. Mayor, that would conclude my presentation. Certainly happy to answer any questions. We certainly, obviously we're here with the intention of quickly, as quickly as possible, getting onto an agenda with the zoning and PUD application, should y'all, which time y'all would adopt your development guidelines, we would be there immediately in short order to proceed, hopefully, with this project.
That's very good, Philip. Very good. Right now, we're in the process of adopting, yes, the land development code, and hopefully later on in the agenda, we have the capital improvement plan also. Brennan, do you have any council members, any questions, any comments?
No.
No, I just thank you, Mr. Ramirez, for your patient understanding how we're still working on the land development code and
Sure.
with our comprehensive, I mean, we've got our comprehensive plan. It looks like it is in line with our comprehensive
Yes.
plan. So thank you for your patience. And this looks good. This is something that I know I'm very interested in because I'm looking at the taxes of how it help the city of Gregory. And that would definitely help the community.
Yes, our main concern here, Philip, is the job creations, job retentions, economic impact, sales tax, ad valorem tax, and jobs, and things of this nature require less infrastructure than a neighborhood. This is ideal. This is perfect. But right now we need to concentrate on our basics, on our comprehensive plan, development code, capital improvement plan, and so that we can have all the ducks in a row. Am I in the right track, Brennan?
Yes, Mayor, that's correct. We're continuing to make progress on the replacement zoning map and hope that we'll be scheduling those public hearings for the map and the land development code in the coming weeks so that projects like this can move forward.
Yeah, right now we're also trying real hard to upgrade our water system, our infrastructure, and we have a $6.6 million project right now there where we'll probably be beginning working on this in the real near future, like next week, something like that, to improve our infrastructure so that we can become more attractive to businesses like this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor. You know, we certainly would just hope and know that it's a process. But again, I'd like to reiterate that, you know, we feel pretty confident that we have several very interested parties that are ready to go as soon as y'all are ready to go. So obviously, we're interested in seeing it all come to fruition as quickly as possible, that we can get this underway. So with that, you know, if there's any other questions, Mayor, we look forward to hopefully presenting to you all again soon in a formal fashion. If y'all have any questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me, and we'll be following along the processes and watching and hoping that it'll transpire in a timely manner so we can get shovels in the ground and get you all some ad valorem taxes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item on the presentation is from Judge Rachel De Los Santos, who is a municipal judge for the city of Freer. Okay, well, go ahead, Philip. And
Okay, I'm trying to get back.
yeah.
Hold on, let me try to see if I can, Norman, let's see. I'm gonna admit somebody here and then let me escape out of here. Bear with me, I apologize. I'm gonna go back to
Okay, Philip, we're all new to this.
Yeah, I know. I need to unshare my screen, I think, here. But it's got me. I don't know what I did here. I apologize. I'm trying to figure out how to get the controls to let me do it. You know, I'm just gonna, well,
Norma, you can reclaim the host from Philip.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. I can't. It won't let me.
Okay. Hold on. I think I got it here.
There it
There we
is.
go.
There we go. Thank you, Philip.
Sorry about that, guys.
Okay. Norma, do you have complete control now?
Do you have control, Norma?
I believe I do.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Now we have next is Mrs. De Los Santos.
Yes.
I am here.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to everyone. I'm the current presiding judge for the City of Freer Municipal Court. I've had the honor of speaking with the Mayor Pro Tem on several occasions, and we've had some interesting conversations.
Yeah.
So
Thank
she
you.
asked me to give a presentation on the status or what can be done with the municipal court in Gregory. It would be a 30, 60, 90-day process. The first 30 days would be a status check to make sure that all of your case management software and to determine where your cases are currently sitting. In the next 60 days, it would be setting those cases for show cause hearings and having those hearings, and then filing complaints for violating promise to appear or failure to appear, depending on the issue that arises from there. The next 90 days would be a case flow to make sure everything is now up and running and going in the right direction. It's my understanding that your presiding judge at this time is ill and has not been in the courtroom for several months. I'm not sure exactly how long his term is, but while he is the presiding judge, I could only be the associate judge for the City of Gregory, and helping him or her, I'm not quite sure if it is a male or a female, until either his term ends or her term ends, or until they return to the bench. So that's kind of the status that would occur. I could do this on the weekend. Of course, we are all remote because of the 19 emergency orders that the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals have issued, that we are to work remotely as much as possible, and no in-person hearings can be held without an operating plan. So until an operating plan is submitted to the regional administrative judge and turned into OCA, then there cannot be any in-person hearings, and that's only in the event that it cannot be held in any other way. It's impossible for the defendant to appear remotely. And you have to make sure that that is the case to have that in-person hearing. Is there any questions from the council that I can address at this time?
Judge Rachel, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. One of the things that I had on the council, last council meeting was I made the mayor and the council members let them know, especially about how the Freer website for the municipal court, and also you mentioned something about the virtual way of handling the courts on starting August the 1st. So is that something that you can elaborate to them?
Okay, our website for the Freer Municipal Court is actually developed by my court clerk. She has put that together, and she's brilliant. I just have to say that, give her all the kudos. I give her the idea, and then she'll come back in about 24 hours. I figured out how to do that. Virtual court happens as we are doing it right now. The Office of Court Administration has bought licenses for all judges in the state of Texas, and we have the ultimate Zoom license. We can have hearings by Zoom. We can have trials by Zoom. We cannot have jury trials at the moment unless you are given special permission by the Office of Court Administration to conduct that jury trial. And they're watching everyone. I have seen one in the city of Dallas by Judge Miskell, who has tried a case, a jury trial case. It was interesting. It has its hiccups, but we're going there. It's happening. So virtually all trials can be held as we are holding them right now, and all hearings can be held this way as well. And as far as the website, that's put together by my court clerk. She bought the domains, and we designed it, and she put it together, and anything that we need to add goes onto that website. It is supposed to be user-friendly, and anything that a defendant may need should be easily accessible from the website. They can print it from there. Also, what we do in our court is we provide a courtesy letter that the police department issues to all defendants at the time that either a citation is issued or contact is made. And that courtesy letter pretty much follows the website, and they can address the court either by mail, by fax, by email. We have some hybrid hearings that have also been authorized by the Texas Supreme Court in the Court of Criminal Appeals. So right now it's something very interesting. The judiciary, who is notoriously slow to move, has moved aggressively into this new COVID age. Are there any other questions?
Judge, oh, I'm sorry, but another thing that I wanted to mention, because I did also say that in our communication over the phone, was that you were offered to help us out with your services and in
Yes.
any way to get us back in track.
That's correct.
And when I told the council members, they were like, what? Free of charge? And I'm like, yeah, she is willing to come in and just to get us back in track until, oh, and I'm sorry, Mr. Beam, he is a he.
Oh, he is a he, okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. But how can we come about for a city? I mean, I have the chief, Cano, and of course our city secretary and Crystal that deal with the court system. So I don't know how to, I just called to ask you because we were in need of help, and how can you come about to help us, to get us back in
Okay.
track?
The first thing I need to do is go in and do an audit of where your situation lies and move those cases into the required settings, the docket settings that they need to be in to process them and move them on to the next phase. If you are stuck without a judge, there are judgments, I'm sure, that have not been signed, and there are hearings that have not been held, such as show cause hearings. And I'm sure any pre-trials have not been held, and of course trials right now haven't been held either. So that would be the first thing to go in there. Basically making sure that your court management system is up and running according to the new changes as of the legislative session that began, well, the changes began in September 1st, 2019, and then changed again on January 1st, 2020. So there's two sets just in the last several months that would determine what your fees are. So that would be the first issue, to make sure that we're all correct on anything that your court management system has. You may not be aware, but I know that you guys have Linebarger as your collections attorneys. They offer their in-code expert personnel free of charge to all courts to help when they have gone or have become backlogged. So that is a resource that you can tap into free of charge, and they can come in and also help move your cases along and process them. And yes, I'm willing to do this for you guys. I've heard from one person in particular that there is a very definite need in the city of Gregory, and the judiciary should not have any stains upon it. So we need to step in and help where we can to make sure that all cities and all judiciaries are functioning in the same capacity.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll leave it up to the chief, Crystal, or Norma if y'all have any, questions for the judge.
I was, excuse me, I'm Norma, city secretary. I was talking to a council member this afternoon. He was saying something about the virtual court along with YouTube. How would
Yes.
how would YouTube fall into this?
It is actually all through the Office of Court Administration. We are given our YouTube channel, and that is how open court is held. So you cannot record it, and it will come up with a little insignia that says do not record when you are holding the hearing. And once the hearing has terminated, you go into the YouTube channel and you delete the hearing. So it's actually together. It is linked.
It'll be a link to the Zoom, because he was telling me something about links going here and there. I did not quite understand the lingo, but
Yes.
he was saying about you. We were going to need an account with YouTube. We currently have an account with Zoom, and Crystal has her own account. She's a host, so she could probably create that for the municipal court along with, I guess, the YouTube thing. Or how do you want?
That's
How
through
would
the
that
Office
work?
of Court Administration. We just have to ask them for it. They give us the account, we set it up, and it has the YouTube link as well. They pay for everything. And as far as the last meeting that we had with the regional administrative judge, OCA has no plans of ever stopping the licenses for all judges in the state of Texas. So it doesn't matter where your jurisdiction is, as long as you are wanting it, they have no plans of ever terminating their subscription to the Zoom channels.
Oh, okay.
Zoom links, Zoom licenses, everything is going to be coming from the Office of Court Administration.
So it is not something that the city is creating or getting another account. That goes to the courts.
It's already there.
I think that's been the confusion, because yeah, I think that's where the confusion, like, oh, you've got to create this and you've got to have your YouTube. And I think that's probably what threw Norma off today.
No, it's all provided through the Office of Court Administration. We just have to request it from them, and they set us up. You can also go to their website and you can see all hearings that are held throughout the state at any one time. You just go to one that is actually in session, click on that, and you can see it on the YouTube channel live.
Chief?
I don't have any questions. Thank you, Judge, for coming out this evening or meeting us in this meeting this evening. I really appreciate it. It's been a while since we've held court. The officers are continuing to work. They're generating citations, they're coming into the court, and it's just backing up our system. And we really need to do something to offer people, you know, their day in court, so to speak. So thank you.
Due process, that is correct.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Alvaro,
Well, Judge,
do you have anything to say, Alvaro? Where are you?
I'm here.
It got dark.
in the dark.
No, it's cool.
Okay. Well, Judge Rachel, my next question would be, when can we start? What's the process? When maybe next, you know, if you can call the Norma, our city secretary.
I sure will, and set up a time when I will go in. I have to make sure that no one else is there at the time that I arrive. It's just social distancing and everything else that has to occur. Crystal, I believe, is your court clerk.
Yes.
I would need her there definitely for the case management system information, and I will have a Limebarger expert with me as well, so we can move that quickly, both between Crystal and the Limebarger expert.
That'd be great. That sounds promising. Very good. All right.
Is Crystal on?
Yes.
Is Crystal on right now?
Yes, she is.
Yes, I'm on.
Yes. Okay. Do you have contracts with WebFTA?
No.
You do not have contact. Okay. That is something that we need to set up. WebFTA is through the Department of Public Safety. It is an omni-based system. And whenever we issue warrants for traffic violations, rules of the road, or individuals that have failed to appear or violated the promise to appear, it goes onto their website. And Omnibase, which is a subsidiary of DPS, will hold a license until that violation is taken care of within that jurisdiction.
Yes, we have Omni.
Oh, you have Omni?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, we have
excellent.
Omni. Yeah.
Excellent. That's one of the things that we can hold over someone to get these cases resolved.
Yes.
Excellent.
Right.
Thank you so much, Crystal.
Judge Rachel, thank you so much for joining, and just I just feel so, I mean, it's going to be where now we can go back on track, and we're heading forward. That's what we're doing. We're moving forward. Thank you.
I'm very impressed with your meeting so far.
We're learning Zoom. Well, thank you, Judge Rachel.
You have a lot of interesting projects in the works, so
yes.
good luck to everyone.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, Judge. All right. That terminates, it finishes all of our presentations for tonight, and it didn't take that long. Okay, it was real good, real good. Everybody kept it real good. All right, now next on the agenda, we go to a consent agenda, and there are 6 items on the agenda for the consent. Hopefully everybody read through it, and if there's no discussion, if any questions, and anybody has any problems or issues that they don't understand, speak now. If not, do I hear a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Okay, motion being made by Councilwoman Cristina Zambrano to adopt the consent agenda. Okay, now we'll go to the action items. Action item number 1 is consideration and possible action to approve a construction manager at risk CMAR contract between the City of Gregory and D&SS Construction for the construction of a new municipal complex not to exceed 3.75 million. Presentations being made by Mrs. Brandon McDougall and Greg Forsyth with LMB Incorporated. It's yours now, Brandon and Greg. Go for it.
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, the municipal complex project has been a long time in the making. So we're very excited to be presenting the contract to you this evening. As the mayor mentioned, Craig Forsyth, the project architect, is on the call. He has helped coordinate selection of the contractor and worked with us and special counsel to arrive at the contract that you have before you. So I'll really turn it over to Craig to tell you about the contractor and talk about next steps.
Hi, again, my name is Craig Forsyth, and I am the Director of Architecture for LNB. I've met with several of you before, but haven't had the opportunity to meet with all of you yet. Look forward to that in days to come. And I want to apologize. I don't have video tonight, so you just get to hear me talk. I've been having some computer issues for a while. One thing that I want to, Norma, if you could, David tells me that he's waiting, the contractor. Is there any way to let him in? Do you see
Where
him?
is he at?
He sent me a text and said he's waiting in the wings.
I don't see anybody in my waiting room.
I may need to tell him to call in. I know he wanted to be on board, but
No, I
anyway,
don't see.
to give you a little bit of background, with DNSS Construction, I've had a long-standing relationship with this contractor for well over 20 years. David and I go way back. He's done several projects for me. All of them have turned out really, really well. We have never had any issues. Anytime something of this nature comes along, he's always my go-to. So I feel very confident that he'll be capable of fulfilling this project, and I think everybody's going to be very happy with the end result. David and his crew are real easygoing, very easy to get along with, easy to negotiate with. So I feel very strongly that this is going to be a good team that we've put together. The contract that we are looking at is a CMAR contract, construction manager at risk. And we typically like to use an AIA document. That is what you've got in front of you. We have gone through this with the city attorney, and
Okay, excuse me, I'm sorry, I've let David Shure and Mr. Bell in.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
As I was saying, yeah, we've been working with the city attorney and gone through a few little iterations of the contract and trying to make this fit for this particular project. I believe this last set of corrections was actually done this morning, so been fairly recent. But we're trying to make sure that we get something that meets the city's needs, and of course, all of us involved with the project. But if you've got any specific questions about the contract, I know if David is on board now, and I believe Cynthia is, we could certainly entertain any questions that you may have.
Hi, Cynthia, you're there? It's Councilwoman Zambrano. Here she is.
Go.
Okay.
Turn my video on as well. All right, so I did review the contract, and I know that Mr. Forsythe mentioned from their side of the house, they prefer using the AIA contract documents. From the city attorney side of the house, those are not our favorite documents to work with. However, that said, we've worked very well in being able to achieve areas, some revisions in some areas from the city attorney standpoint and protection of the city. There were a couple of areas there that were not acceptable to the city attorney, and those areas and some of the final comments went back earlier this morning, and I don't have a confirmation if those proposed revisions are being accepted or not. However, we did previously discuss some of those revisions, and I believe that we are on track for acceptance of those particular revisions. One of the things from the city attorney's side of the house, when we have a contract of this size, we do request that the cities, we've developed a standard contract writer for the city. In this particular case, that was not a document that could be accepted by all parties. So what we then moved to was just some general revisions of pieces of information within the actual agreement itself in order to protect the city, because that's my only job in all of this. All right, so as to the terms of what y'all want to agree to, what y'all agree to pay, what type of project you want, all those specifics, that's all city policy, that's all y'all's decision. What I can say is that on the very specific legal provisions that we look for, we did receive supplementary documentation, and those were the items that were provided to earlier today that we've got agreement on. And so I will give you, for instance, one of the things we frequently see in contracts of this size is indemnification provisions. In this particular case, your contractors have agreed to indemnification of the city for certain claims. And so that is very good news for the city and acceptable in this particular contract. We also asked for some limitations of some provisions within the document so that in the event that the city is liable for something, that liability will be limited only to the amounts and only under the condition that that state law provisions will control. So we're good on that. And then of course, generally speaking, we always recommend that the city attempt mediations rather than arbitrations before, attempting to move to litigation, in the event of some major dispute comes up. I believe that has also been accepted, and hang on one second. I did receive an email during the midst of all of this that I think confirms all that. And so, and then so it looks like I think we are good. We are those provisions are pretty much going to be acceptable to our vendor as well. So that's good news. And so then lastly, the thing, an additional items or a couple of items that I do have to warn y'all and let y'all know about that are within the provisions is that we have asked that, the Texas Prompt Payment Act shall apply, throughout the document. And so we, and the document was already pretty much set up that way for compliance with state law. So that was an absolute plus on that. And so at this particular point in time, like I said, while I always recommend the contract writer, which is the only way that I can 100% guarantee that the city is protected. Absent the contract writer, the limitations of any liability or legal responsibility has been limited by state law. There is indemnification provisions in favor of the city. And in addition to that, we do have some additional protections within the AIA contract documents itself, which indicates that should any provision within this document be found to be unenforceable because of state law or constitutional provisions, that the contract shall exist without that particular term, or to the extent that the term can be utilized in favor or to the agreement of all parties, the contract can be amended as well. So with that, we can say that the city contract or the contract at this particular point in time is approved as. And there again, like I said, the terms of the agreement themselves, that's all policy decision for city council.
Okay, so overall, in trying to get this project moving, Counselor, are we, in your opinion, pretty well protected? I was going over the contract, it's quite a bit, and I'm not a fast speed reader, but I did see some terms there. But if you feel confident to advise the council that we're not putting ourselves in jeopardy in any way, I would like to put a full faith and trust on our attorneys, our counsel to guide us at this moment.
So with that, Mayor, like I said, what I can say is that as a matter of form, there are no provisions in here that would necessarily negatively impact the city.
Okay.
But, you know, as you noted, this is a big contract. This is a big deal. However, I know in speaking with Brandon that your vendors here have been vetted. Y'all have chosen vendors that met the city's qualifications and requirements. These vendors that have a quite large portfolio of work for similar types of projects. So I think y'all will be in good hands. And from a contract provision, like I said, absence the 100% guarantee of the contract writer, this is probably as strong as we can make it.
Okay. Council members, are there any questions? I feel confident myself.
Okay.
I know Brandon's been working closely with you and with our architect and getting everything together. So, and we get to meet our construction right there, David. I just can't see him yet.
I'm here. I just don't know how to I can't get the video on.
Well, I struggled, and for y'all's own benefit, I was like, okay, I found the button now. Should I actually turn it on or not? And I'm like, I know I've spoken with y'all, but y'all not actually ever seen me, so I've been kind of a talking head here.
This new way of doing business is quite unique to me.
Well, I think this is new to everybody, especially us that are up in years.
So I do have a question for Brandon and David. So the council approves this. How fast can we start seeing some work being done on the property?
I believe Craig could speak to the design part of it, which he's already has work floor plan. And I believe that the schedule is to complete those items by December and then be going out for bid subcontractors and then breaking ground when permitting can be done.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of throw in again, as David was saying, we've had discussions and we've already got some things in motion, trying to get some plans and stuff together. But once we do officially get David on board, we may be able to start some of the initial demolition and some other things here relatively quickly. So we'll certainly be running a lot of stuff past you as the city council just to get some final approvals and things. But we are well underway. and things are looking much better once we get this whole process.
Thank you.
Okay. When thank you and go and buy our shovels.
We'll certainly let you know.
Okay. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Cynthia, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Brennan, thank you. Now, Council, Alvaro, do you have any questions? You're okay?
No, not right now. Everything's cool.
Okay, good.
He's cool tonight.
You got your shovel ready?
It's in gold.
It's a go. Okay. All right. Okay, that being said, if there's no other questions, I need a motion.
I make the motion to approve the construction manager at-risk CMAR contract between the City of Gregory and DNSS Construction for the construction of the new municipal complex, not to exceed $3.75 million.
Okay, a motion has been made by Councilwoman Zambrano. Is there a second to the motion?
I second it.
Second it.
Delia, I'll beat you this time.
Okay.
Okay, second by Mr. Alvaro Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All ayes, 0 nays. Thank you, Council. Okay, second item on the agenda is discussion of possible action to approve capital improvement plan. You have with you, council members, a resolution adopting a capital improvement plan, and this is something that Robert Vieira with LMV has been working with the City of Gregory to get something going. And we just made a presentation under our infrastructure. And this is very, very important to have the capital improvement plan because we just had 3 real good presentations. 2 of them deal more with the capital improvement plan. And I think this deals with infrastructure, with the water, our sewer, our drainage, and streets. And the total amount so far to meet these goals is a little over $24,000. I mean, million.
Yeah.
It's $27,909,000. This is the capital improvement plan. Now, this complements the comprehensive plan and the land development code, and it also allows us to implement impact fees. Am I correct, Brandon?
Yes, with some restrictions. And since I know the attorneys are still on the meeting, I won't give you a blanket yes or no, but
Okay.
yeah, adopting a capital improvement plan does pave the way for that.
Okay, well, this is basically another step. It's just like the comprehensive plan, the land development code, and now is a capital improvement plan. So we have a resolution, and I need any question from the council?
Mayor, I don't have any questions. This goes along with the courses that I took through A&M, the extension program. So it's another piece to the puzzle.
Good. Yeah, it was well said. Well put together. Another piece to the puzzle. Thank you. That being said, do I hear a motion?
I make the motion to approve the capital improvement plan 2020-07-04.
Okay, a motion be made by Councilwoman Zambrano to adopt the comprehensive plan, capital improvement plan. Is there a second?
I second it.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Odelia Reyes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All ayes, 0 nays. Thank you. At this point, I don't have any reports myself, but we need to go into executive session. Council members, how do you feel about the reports? Want to give them now, or I don't have anything myself?
I'd say right now, Mayor, just a quick reports, because we do have some of our staff here that want to give a quick report.
Okay, staff, Norma Garcia.
I've placed mine to make it easier on you all. I've placed my report in the packet. Just basically all the same simple problems that we've been having on a day-to-day basis, just getting a little bit more more intense.
Okay. Okay, Chief.
Well, I emailed the report this morning. I hope you all got the report, but it basically is normal for us. Nothing major to report at this council meeting. The officers continue to work. They're They're trying to keep the streets safe. We're getting more calls for service. We're seeing, unfortunately, more COVID-19 cases in town. We're being alerted by them as the officers approach for assistance, whether it be EMS or just a call for service there for whatever particular reason. Eric Rodriguez started on July the 3rd. Currently, he is working 24 hours part-time, three days a week. He's working out really well. Very intelligent young man. I'm very proud of him, and he's doing really well. He's coming along, and I don't have any issues with the department. Working on the budget, and hopefully we can get a budget approved for the department this year. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Council members?
Mayor, I just want to report that on July the 14th, we had our first 4B meeting through teleconference. We were able to have a quorum, and our next council or our next 4B board meeting will be on August 11th.
Okay. Anybody else?
Mayor, I'll give my report on the next round on the courses that I took. But what I can say right now is that thank God for Brandon, really taking us in that right direction and really understanding Hero as a planner for us and supporting the city of Gregory. So really learned a lot. So I'll be giving a mini report on the next round.
Okay. Aloro, any good words of wisdom?
It's cool.
Those are good words. Those are good. Thank you, Alvaro.
It's hot out there.
Yes, the only thing I have to say is we'll be keeping you up to date on the results on the LMI survey. Apparently, they look pretty good, but we do not have the final words from Grant's work. And August we'll start our budget and working on our tax rate. And that's it for right now. We'll get back to you later. Right now, we have to close this meeting and then go to the teleconference for our executive session.
We're closing at 7:33.
Yeah, we're closing at 7:33. We just stop video.
Mayor, okay, and we're going to go into executive session. Do you need to read why we're
Yes.